cheap we are. Anyway, so thank you, everybody. My name is Matthias. I built a little venture capital fund focused on the energy sector. So we're a €100 million fund based in Germany here. We're actually backed by Statkraft, which is the Norwegian clean energy firm. Actually, I just came into Berlin this morning from Oslo. And I'm not sure if everybody has been to Oslo lately, or to Norway. It's really nice, you should go. Because it's, at least for two reasons. I mean, if you go in the streets, if you walk down the streets, you see every third car is already electric, right? And that's, for venture capitalists, for an entrepreneur, that's really nice to see, because it just shows disruption is happening, change is happening, technology is advancing. That's super nice to see. And also, I mean, if you look around, nature is just beautiful, right? It makes you very humble. It makes you very much aware that we have to treat resources very carefully. And that's actually quite a privilege, quite an important role to be an entrepreneur in the clean energy space, or even a venture capitalist in that space. So that's certainly a takeaway I got from being there just yesterday. Obviously, I'm not here to kind of give travel tips. So my day job is about enabling startup success, right? And that's pretty much centered around just one major thing, and that's the founders, right? So startup founders, they are really our heroes. And I mean, if you look at them, if you look at what they have built, and if you talk to them, you can sense that they have superpowers, like in a maybe almost superhuman sense. And if you look at details, they have some sort of superpowers, right? They're always masters of their technology. They're always masters of their domain. So you get the feeling. And also, if you talk to them, you're always inspired. I'm always impressed by the persistence they bring, right? And that's probably also what it takes to build a company against all odds over several years through all the ups and downs. And so those are really, really the heroes. That's the people we like and we try to back, right? And actually, you should give it a try. I mean, talk to them at the conference. Some of them are here, and you will get the feeling, right? You will be impressed. You will want to really contribute to their success. But they all have something else in common, right? They're all very smart. They're all very good. They have somewhat superhuman powers. But they're also at the right time, at the right place, right? And there is many dimensions that point to the fact that it's just the right timing now for entrepreneurs in the energy space, and also for venture funds that kind of help them, try to help them, right? I think a lot of the fundamental questions have been answered, like technology-wise. I think the heavy lifting of technology development has been done more or less. So that's good. That's kind of something you can check off your list. And so it's a good time just now to kind of build on that, kind of develop existing technology, and actually build business models on top of that. Actually use that advancement in technology to really build businesses. And also, one other dimension of timing, I think that's super interesting to watch, and you might experience that yourselves, is that the energy sector, in the broader sense, is really changing in other dimensions too, right? There is at least we see quite an appetite in M&A, right? Traditional players buying small startups. And also, we see an ever-growing openness of traditional incumbent players to use startup solutions, right? That's not always been the case, but we see that picking up, and that's certainly a good point in time. And also, one dimension of that is it's interesting to watch what players are actually entering the energy, the power sector, right? It's people you wouldn't suspect being energy firms. But if you look at Oracle buying O-Power, or if you look at Google buying Nest, there's really strong players that are already strong in their domain, and they're buying their way into the energy sector. And that's a very interesting timing and probably a good place to be for entrepreneurs and funds in our sector. So if you are like a superhero startup founder, if you're at the right time at the right place, there's still something else you can need. And actually, that's the good thing is it's something you can influence, right? The third factor, if you will, is something you can actively manage, and that's like picking the right partners. And maybe one of the more relevant dimensions of partners for a startup is probably the venture capitalist that you choose to back you. And I might be biased, probably I am biased, but here's my checklist how to select your venture capital fund. Because I mean, there's different ways and forms of doing venture capital and also specifically doing corporate-backed venture capital. But that's at least how we think a good setup should look like, a good approach of a venture capitalist should look like in order to really support startups in the best possible way. So I think one thing that's important is being, I mean, from whatever you do as an investment manager, as a fund, is being 100% focused only on the startup success. And it has many dimensions, and one, for instance, is only investing one firm in a given space, right? Don't invest in competing firms ever. Maybe don't even sign a term sheet with competing firms ever. And also for the specific case of a corporate-backed fund like we are, I think it's important, it's crucial to be really at arm's length of your sponsor, of your parent company, right? Because it's good to be close and to be helpful, but you want to be distant enough to be not conflicted at all, right? Being in a position to really focus on the startup's success, even if it might be slightly against the interest of your sponsor, of your LP, of your parent company. And also, one thing that I think is super important, and I think it has been more the case in recent years, is that corporate funds should be, and they can be, real lead investors, right? And it's probably easy for an entrepreneur to find somebody else to kind of join the round once you have signed the first lead investor. But I think it's a bottleneck, and it's crucial to find that investor first that gives you the first commitment, signs the first term sheet, makes up his mind more or less independent of what others say. And then you can build your syndicate around those kind of cornerstones. And then, at least for the energy sector, I think it makes a lot of sense to pick somebody who has a certain understanding of the domain, is well connected into the traditional part of the industry, and is actually willing to put his social capital at risk to promote your success, right? Make intros where it's not obvious that it's a good idea, and really doesn't really mind to walk around, introduce you to people, to really use his network, his social capital. And I think if you want to figure out what a good fund should look like, you could just talk to their portfolio firms, right? That's probably the single most, or the best data point you can get. I mean, look at the startups if you like them, talk to the portfolio CEOs if they like their investor, and they probably get a good picture. This is, in brief, what I want to share with you. So if you are a startup, talk to us, right? We're here at that conference. If you are an incumbent energy firm, talk to our portfolio firms or talk to me, and make sure you use their solutions because they're all great and they all make your day and your life easier. And if you're one of those founders with superpowers and you think you can control those powers down to a somewhat human level just for a short period of time, I would invite you to go running with me tomorrow morning. Very nice, human style, super nice and slow, 45 minutes before we join this conference again. Thank you.
When did you meet your portfolio company, Parkbee?
I don't know when, but I know exactly where.
Where?
So it was Ecosummit, I guess.
In Amsterdam?
Yes.
2016.
Probably.
On the 4th of July.
Okay, see? That's something you know I don't.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
He found deal flow at this event. Congratulations,
Thanks.
Matthias.